Hello everyone. Today we will be studying about lower course of the river. When river reaches its lower course, it's the slope of the river bed is very gentle and the velocity of the river water is slow. Why? Because the river is about to reach at sea level. Now, in the lower course, load transportation reduces. River is very sluggish now. In its lower course, river does deposition only. Many large tributaries have joined by now the main river, and there is no down cutting of the riverbed. There are only the depositional features which are formed by the river. One of the important depositional feature formed by the river is Oxbow Lake. Oxbow lakes are formed by river in its middle course as well as in its lower course. Formation of Oxbow Lake is done by both erosion as well as by deposition. As Oxbow Lake formation starts with the formation of a meander. We know what is a meander. Meander is a turn or a bend or a loop that is formed by the river as it flows along the irregularities of the slope. Meander that forms Oxbow lakes have two sets of curves. One curve away from the straight path of the river and the other curving back. The corners of the curve closest to each other are called as concave bank. Erosion occurs on the concave bends. The force of the river flowing away the land on the concave curve is the speed of the river is fast here. On the convex side, the speed of the river slows down. Erosion and deposition causes a new channel to be cut through. Now, as the river water flows towards the concave side, the speed is faster. So here, erosion is done by the river. Outside bend, it is the river cliff. Here, erosion is done on a large scale. Whereas on the convex side, the speed of the river slows down and so river starts doing deposition. Here, deposition is being done. This side, inside bend, slip of slope or the deposition is being done. Here, deposition is being done and here it is the erosion that is dominant. So this is how forming meander, doing erosion and deposition, the river flows forming bends. Now, Now a time comes, these bends, the bend where the deposition has been done tremendously, the ends of the bend, they too get sealed by the deposition, and the river changes its course. River changes its direction. So a cut-off lake has been formed here. This cut-off lake is known as Oxbow Lake. At times, when the river is in flood, river changes its direction and the cut-off lakes are formed. These lakes, they are still water lakes. Later on, they become swamps or they often dry up. Now, this is the Oxbow Lake has been formed. The river channel has changed its direction, and this is how it is flowing. An Oxbow Lake gets its name from the U-shaped collar placed around the ox neck, known as a cut-off lake also. Now, the river water, the transporting of the river water decreases to a great extent. The transporting power decreases. Deposition of the load is in excess. Sediments are too much. This normally forms channel bars, and forms islands in the river. We can see the island being formed due to the excessive deposition. These divide the network of, this divide the river into network of channels. Now, as the excessive load is there, it divides the river water into network of channels, and so now the river is known as a braided stream or a braided river. Another feature formed by the river is known as deltas. Now, when the river enters a lake or falls into the sea, it deposits its load at the mouth of the river. This leads to a triangular shape formation, which is known as delta. Most of the rivers, they form delta. Now, there are different types of delta. This is a delta being formed. This is a picture of a delta being formed. Now, the types of delta, number one, it is the arcuate delta. Arcuate delta, it is a fan-shaped delta or a curved delta with convex margins facing the water body. Sediments deposited are coarse here. Another type of delta is known as bird's foot delta. This delta is formed by finer deposits and is in the shape of a bird's foot. So it's known as a bird's foot delta. Another type of delta is known as Cuspate delta. This is formed when the sediments are deposited on to a straight shoreline with strong waves. Cuspate delta is formed. Another type of delta is Estuarine delta. Estuarine delta is formed at the mouth of the submerged river depositing down the side of the estuaries. Now the mouth of the river is submerged in water, seawater, where the sea waves and the oceanic currents, they remove the sediments brought by the river. Now, Estuarine delta, it receives fresh water from the river and salt water from the sea. That's all for the day. I hope you have understood. Do hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you.